Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. This time it is one day removed, or beforehand, of the one and only Ando. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a wonderful array of individuals who will be talking this evening. Of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the political himself, Zealeus.
Cheers, mofos.
Cheers. And of course, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ando himself.
As he tries to take it outside.
Try to take out the sign.
But it's his own son. He can do whatever he damn well pleases.
Exactly. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Ando, so can you.
Woo! What can Ando do?
What can Ando
what
not
can't
do?
Ando do?
Seriously,
Come on.
that is the better question.
Could you get us some mics?
Maybe.
All right, kids, let's get right into it, because this is what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a wonderful convention that is happening tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, I believe, at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock is
3 o'clock.
the opening of registration.
Eastern time?
Eastern
Yes,
time.
Eastern
Eastern time.
And it will run through the weekend. So if you have the ability to be in the wonderful city of Atlanta in the state of Georgia,
Technically, it's not really Atlanta, is it? Is it like a
Dunwoody.
suburb? Yeah.
It's Dunwoody, but
Just saying.
it is so close to the 285 perimeter that it
Dude.
depends.
It's OTP. It's not Atlanta. All right, come on.
Technically, the postmaster says that it's still Atlanta because you're within 5 miles of 285.
Ask somebody inside the perimeter how they feel about the postmaster. They tell you shove it somewhere.
I know. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's not get into what is and what isn't a location. If you look up Atlanta, you're sure to find it.
Fair enough. But where in Atlanta is it actually taking place, though?
It is happening at the perimeter.
the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. It is in, if you're in the area, you know it's Dunwoody, right by Perimeter Mall. In fact, it's walking distance from Perimeter Mall, so if you want to walk over to the food court and get some lunch, supper, that kind of stuff.
There's also a Chick-fil-A in that parking lot.
There is?
Yeah. They just opened up. It's the one.
Okay, it must have just opened up. I was there like last week.
No, it opened up. I can't remember. It's open.
Well, they also have like a little restaurant like in the lobby too.
Yeah, the hotel has an actual restaurant in it, so you don't even have to leave the hotel
You
at
can
all.
sleep at the hotel and just game forever.
Gee, sleeping at a hotel. Who does that?
Wait, no.
Anyway.
No. Anyways,
I was thinking more like just in the conference room where the actual convention's taking place. Pull up a sleeping bag and just.
Craig is looking forward to nuzzling Ando's magnificent beard this weekend. Yes, indeed.
And
Well,
a
you know what,
special-
last, you know what?
You
Last
should have
time,
a special nuzzling room.
you know what? Last time I was on Nerdburger, I don't seem to recall you doing anything with my beard, and you had the opportunity, Craig. I mean, even Mike. Anyway.
Anyways, now, Wedge Kid, we are willing to sort of forgive you for not coming out to AndoCon. We do understand
What?
that you.
I'm not.
He's working Triad Anime Convention.
Can't you do both
in
at once?
Winston-Salem.
Come on, Mike. I
Winston-Salem,
expect more from
Atlanta.
you. Can't you Terrence Loki?
Nudge the puppy. It's not Friday. What is this mayhem?
I thought it was Wednesday.
No, it was I think the last time Nudge the Puppy tuned in, we were doing a Friday, Thursday night hangout. Anyways.
I can't keep track of last day, so I don't know.
Yes. Anyways, so AndoCon, of course, is happening at
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is when registration and the open gaming rooms and the dealer's room all open for general attendees. And 5 o'clock is the opening ceremonies.
Dude, the room's actually closed. Like on Friday/Saturday.
technically.
They do. We don't have a specific time that things close. It's more like
You cleaned your
whenever.
whiteboard. Sorry, I got
Okay.
distracted.
All right. Shiny
cleaned the
shiny
whiteboard.
object. Stop! You've done that 2 straight shows.
So
Really?
Go.
for closing in the evenings, it's more like at some point in the middle of the night, it gets down to where there's only like 2-3 people left who have any energy left whatsoever, and usually whoever's on staff is like, I'm about to fall asleep. Can we like lock the doors and close everything?
Yeah.
So it's there have been times that I heard. I was not personally there because I was already asleep, but there have been times I heard we were open till like 3:30 in the morning. So just it's kind of whatever it happens to be. But I mean, pace yourself. You've got most of Friday, you've got all day Saturday, you've got most of Sunday. Pace yourself.
When
It's
do the
okay.
doors open on Saturday?
Saturday, I mean, pretty much, I think no earlier than, like, let's have a heart on the staff that have to open the rooms. Let's try to say nothing earlier than 9, I guess. But, I mean, it's not that it's a specific time. We're just usually 9 to 10, somewhere in there.
I will be at the door at 8:59.
knocking on it,
Hello? Hello? 30 seconds. No, if seriously, if you can get into the Atlanta area, come game, come check out some panels. You should probably be there by 5 for the opening ceremonies. But
especially if you've never been there to AndoCon before, if this is your first time coming to AndoCon, then definitely opening ceremonies is always a good little introduction. You'll learn a little bit about how we started. You'll kind of understand what the deal is with why it's called AndoCon, as you couldn't already tell. And you will also get a sort of an idea of what is special about this weekend as opposed to previous weekends, and sort of, just in general, it's a good way to kind of get a feeling for what is the con.
Well, the previous 51 weekends didn't have AndoCon.
Well,
technically, no.
Because we had less than a year in between these, 20, because we moved earlier into the year.
As soon as I said that, I knew you both were going to correct me.
Yep. So, anyways, so
I understand that you guys are going to be presenting a couple of panels while you're there.
Yes.
Depends how much I drank.
So, if you can get there on Friday, I highly recommend, of course, you attend the opening ceremonies.
Yes.
Then go get yourself food or whatever you need to do.
A few beverages.
And then make sure that you are back a little bit before 8 o'clock. Because Video Games Today will be happening at 8 o'clock. I don't know what room it's going to be in.
The Madison room.
The Madison room.
The room of Madison.
It is the only panel room that we have this
The
year.
only panel room. That makes it easy.
So same room as the opening ceremony.
Okay.
That's fine.
I want to do it in the pool.
No. I want to do it in that like bubble area.
Why don't we do it in the road?
Let's just do it in the convention hall. We're just gonna mic and just start talking at the convention hall.
Yeah, that will definitely increase the
Just hit the bullhorn.
I was like, what the hell are you guys doing in here?
We're giving a panel. Pay attention.
Anyway, so at 8 o'clock, you're going to see Video Games Today. And, of course,
I thought tomorrow was destruction.
Yes.
No,
Saturday is destruction.
Saturday is destruction.
Okay, my bad. I stand corrected. Continue talking. Good lord. We're going to have to go out.
Okay, anyways. Getting back on topic here.
God, we derail so easily.
I wasn't on topic. I was talking about the convention.
I don't know where. You may need to stop that. And maybe we could get you some, like, Ritalin or something.
You don't want to see me on Ritalin.
No, I don't. Okay, anyways, moving on. Okay, so we're gonna have a panel at 8 o'clock on Friday, which is gonna be Video Games Today, and if we can do it, we once again will be streaming it live through the internet. And of course, we will be. I don't know the Twitch details yet, but we will be on a live Twitch feed where we will be part of the All-Star Crew, showing off Murders and Acquisitions from 10 to 12.
Woo!
We will then be sprinting back to the Madison room, where we will be giving you the latest and greatest in the destruction of the game industry as we know it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will do it in 15 seconds.
The entire panel will be in 15 seconds.
No, transitioning from the Merge and Acquisitions thing to our panel will happen in 15 seconds. You better bring your running shoes.
See, I was about to make some like smart ass comment for Craig, but he's BRB right now, so I can't.
I know.
But
it's okay.
Yeah, I don't run.
Yeah, you do. Just not well.
No, I just don't run.
No, you do. Just not well. We've been through this before.
When was the last time you saw me run?
What?
When was the last time you saw me run?
Last year.
When? For what?
I think we were trying to chase something down. Hey, it's Craig. He's back.
I got the beer scared him away.
So Craig, here's the deal. The destruction of the game industry as we know it panel that these guys have to do is at noon on Saturday. So that Murders and Acquisitions thing that you're doing with these guys, you got to let them go a couple of minutes ahead of 12.
I need 15 seconds. If his ass is late because he decides he can't run, then that's his own damn problem.
You act like I care.
You should. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to something that we're all excited about, and that, of course, is Merge and Acquisition. Since we're already talking about it, let's show you a little bit of what we've got to show you. Merge and Acquisition exclusive.
Whoa! How much do we pay for this exclusive?
1 second here.
Whoa!
All right, here we go. We have a couple of pie charts to help you understand what's the best way to get through mergers and acquisitions.
What if I'm colorblind?
It's in grayscale. You're okay. Jesus. Try again, young man. All right. How to climb the corporate ladder. We have subterfuge, espionage, theft, manipulation, and murder. I have to say that they're all equal pieces of a pie.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be a pretty, pretty equal. All options are equally valid.
I have to 20%.
Which means that no matter how you approach it, you can climb the corporate ladder.
Indeed.
All right, percentage chance of success based on plan. Schmooze the right people.
Ooh.
Steal and cover your tracks.
Ooh.
Get lucky.
Oh.
Beat people up. Now, get lucky. Okay, get lucky is a little vague. Are we saying that we score with the boss's wife, therefore
Schmoozing?
the plan falls apart? Well, you're schmoozing, but with the wrong person.
No, the way through a man's heart is his wife.
No, it's through his stomach.
And the wife feeds him.
Yeah, but you don't put anything in the wife.
Except for food. Special kind.
What the hell are you? Shut up! What? Okay, moving on. Termination matrix. Here's your... I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Wheelhouse ideation, synergistic redefinition. This is a...
It's a Z-graph.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with that pronunciation because I can't say
Synergistic redefinition.
Okay,
And that's a wheelhouse, yes.
You're welcome, Craig. I know how to say it.
Yay!
I do
Phonics works for me.
Oh God, they're the reason why that. No, my friends are the reason why we weren't allowed to call the hooked on phonics thing from the payphones in high school. All right, effectiveness of weapons: gun, knife, scissors, brick phone, brass knuckles, stapler, harsh language.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Words can cut deep. You just don't see the blood.
they say
Every
that-
time he talks to me.
I don't know. They say that words can't hurt you, but have you ever been hit by a dictionary? I mean,
Yeah.
that hurts.
It stings, man. It stings.
They got all the curse words in the dictionary these days.
I do remember Charlie actually threw a binder at somebody in our last M&A playthrough.
I didn't
I-
throw a binder.
Oh, interesting.
No, there was a
It-
binder.
I didn't throw it. It was more of toss.
No, it was definitely a throw.
I think
to
you
try
just
to hit.
got zinged in chat. Hi, girls.
Hi!
Kickstarter video preview is exclusive to the Hangout. Full video at EndoCon. Okay, let's
Let's watch the video.
watch the video, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
video's all over radio.
Remember, we're only allowed to see the first little itty bitty peek.
What happens after the little itty bitty peek?
And of course, we're not going to be able to hear it because we don't have any sound playback.
Boo!
That's okay.
I've seen the whole thing because I'm special.
You're a hacksaw.
No, I'm just special.
All right, here we go.
Do it.
Do
it.
Boom.
You got it.
Nerdburger Games. Mergers and Acquisitions.
Welcome to the Murders and Acquisitions Kickstarter. Murders and Acquisitions is a tabletop role-playing game of subterfuge, espionage, theft, and murder set in an absurd corporate world. It's a world where people literally backstab their way to the corner office. But be careful.
There's 20!
Oh, that's all you
Nice.
get.
Oh!
That's a great slide to end on.
That's all you get. You got to
Infractions and punishments.
You can be suspended, beaten, and terminated.
Yeah, no, you got to come to Ando, come see the rest of it. Sorry.
Seriously.
That's reason number one. So you can see Chris Rock present his
And this, by the way,
presentation.
I'm sure that Craig's probably talking about it already in chat, but since I can't read it from over here, this presentation will be given immediately following opening ceremonies. So even if for whatever reason you've decided that you're just going to say screw Ando and bail on opening ceremonies, at least come into the Madison Room at 6 o'clock tomorrow night for Murders and Acquisitions Kickstarter kickoff.
Nice.
Which, of course, means that Craig has to come back on the Ultra Confusion show.
Of course.
To talk more M&A.
But of course.
It's like lemonade. Only without the lemon.
Is he on something? Okay. All right, ladies
It's the
and
good
gentlemen.
stuff, man. It's the good stuff.
Okay. That's interesting.
I got this from your fridge. I don't know what you do.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that there's more chat over there. I can actually read that
Yeah.
side.
We haven't gone on those.
Chats for everyone.
Now I can at least see what's going on in the chat.
Okay. Anyways, let's during the Kickstarter, I will be there. Well, Craig, I hope that you're. Oh yeah. Be here. Sorry, I thought for some reason, my mind was like, I'll be there.
Like, of course you'll be at
to
Ando.
attend the Kickstarter show. I'm like, it's your show. I don't think the link is live yet. But
Yeah.
once it becomes live, you'll see it on Alter Confusion. You'll also see it through all the Alter Confusion social media.
And I'm sure AndoCon Facebook page will also be sharing out those links whenever they come, because obviously we support Craig and we support the game, so we will be making sure that people hear about it as well. So
Absolutely.
through both of our channels, you'll be able to hear about this.
Indeed. All right. So I have two topics that I want to go over.
Didn't we already go over two of them? We've gone over AndoCon and Mergers and Acquisitions.
I have two topics.
To more topics.
Thank you. Language matters.
I'm just a
Add
regular
the Oxford
everyday.
comma.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, this one is about a game called Bear Simulator. It was a successful Kickstarter, raised over $100,000. The developer decided to put it onto Steam.
Question: wasn't it a single developer, if I read correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a single developer, and they decided to put it on Steam for people to have early access to. Now, as a product creator, such as Ando, such as myself,
I don't create products, so I can't help.
So what happened with this game is that it successfully kickstarted, and all the people who kickstarted were really excited about it. They loved the fact that they were getting updates and all this stuff. And of course, the developer's like, okay, I'll throw it on Steam so the whole world can enjoy it. And then a certain YouTube celebrity got a hold of it and ripped it a new one.
Aww.
And then, of course, all hell broke loose because of this wonderful terminology called herd mentality, where you jump on the bandwagon with individuals that you think know everything, and then in the process you basically derail, I guess, the hopes, the dreams, the passion of the individual who created the product.
How could you? You're a heartless individual.
Damn you! Internet's ruining my plans of world
So here's
domination.
the deal. I understand why the developer has basically said, look, here's the deal. What you see is what you get on Steam. You're no longer you're never going to see an update from me again. But for those people that did the Kickstarter, I'll update it to all the promises that I made. But I cannot improve on the quality of the product because I am at my.
No, it was not me
No.
who derailed the simulator.
No,
I'm not
it
a
wasn't
YouTube
Ando.
celebrity. I'm a celebrity.
He's our celebrity.
To these guys, I'm special.
I mean, I could probably say it, but I don't like the guy anyway. So
Who is it?
it's PewDiePie.
Why am I not surprised? How did I know it was going to be him?
I don't know. The only YouTube sensation I know about is Lindsay Sterling.
Okay.
I wonder
Anyways,
if this Lost Shaman is. I have a feeling it's someone who knows
I think so.
me.
I think so. Anyways, so the deal is that I totally understand when you take enough criticism, there are a lot of people who are just willing to kind of disappear so they can take that amount of stress off them.
I get
People can't. Certain people can't handle it. Case in point, there's a guy by the name of Phil Fish. He is an independent developer who disappeared into the ether because of the fact that his first project took so effing long to get out. And of course, the name of the project is Fez, for anyone who's playing this game.
Ooh, I played.
And he was going to make Fez 2. But because so many people attacked him via social media about, are you actually going to be able to develop it within the time frame? How do you think it's actually going to be original? Is it just going to be a carbon copy? And they started ripping into him, and so he's just said, "F it, I'm disappearing, deuces."
Yeah, I heard about that.
And there was actually a couple of there was an independent author. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they had this like underground success for this book series, and then they wanted to write it from a different perspective. But someone decided to hack their computer, steal it, and then give everyone like a rough copy, and that author basically said, "F it.
That's a douche
You-
move.
Here, what you read is all you're going to get from this because you guys are assholes." And
This is why we can't have nice things.
I know. So here's the deal. I know personally that Ando has received certain amount of critical analysis on his conventions from a certain internet website. The thing is that AndoCon still exists.
Because I didn't take it personally.
We think
Exactly.
it's just an imitation. It's
No.
doppelganger.
Doppelganger.
No, seriously. Okay. I hope when people hear me doing critiques that they know that I'm trying to be like helpful. I might rip something apart, but I'm trying. Oh my god, I can't remember the correct terminology.
Critical analysis.
No, it's something. It's constructive criticism. That's
There
the
you
word.
go.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to be constructively critical. Whatever. And I hope that everyone out there who's received a review of their game, their book, their video, their convention understands that. Yes. Are there certain convention holders that tried to intimidate me to take down my review? Yes.
Oh
Not him.
no!
Not him. We're talking about the.
I'm just biding my time and waiting for the moment.
I know.
Aren't we all?
I will admit that after the first AndoCon at the pool house,
That sounds like
Is that what you're going to call
That
that?
sounds like a
The
euphemism.
Cobb Convention Center.
the pool house, I seriously, once I published the review, I seriously was like, I was heartbroken because I was like, oh God, I hope that he doesn't take it the wrong way and he doesn't close up shop, because it's interesting to see, a product start at its creation and then grow. And so I was really happy when, first of all, AndoCon was going to be around for a second year, and second of all, we were actually invited back. So, haha!
So you're saying he almost ruined the entire Ando experience for me by getting him Ando Alt Confusion banned?
Yeah, I could have.
You risked it.
I risked it, but hey, we've got a solid relationship now, okay?
Well, that's on the surface.
Uh,
Sometimes you gotta wait and see what lies in her night.
Why do you think that every time I come on the show, I like take it over?
Yeah.
Put my merchandising up, you know?
Anyways,
Really, we're just a show.
but the thing is, okay, going back to Bear Simulator, or just basically the individual, when you are, the sole creator and owner of a product,
Mhm.
you have to have thick skin.
Yes.
You have to. You cannot take everything personal. Now,
Or just not read the internet.
I will.
That too.
I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
I will fully admit that there are certain aspects to Ultra Confusion that, through enough ridicule, have disappeared off of Ultra Confusion. But as a whole, Ultra Confusion has been able to keep doing what we're doing, even if people think that we're being idiotic or stupid. I'm like, I don't care.
I'm
Well, I
so
make my not my living, but I make my reputation and my name off of being silly and stupid. So I mean,
Exactly.
I'm still waiting for Stephen Hawk to come back.
no. There is no spoon. There is one spoon. There are two spoons.
And
Sorry.
Zealeus just revealed the one thing that got closed down on Ultra Confusion because of peer pressure.
Oh, I thought those were my reviews.
Wait, what?
No, Stephen Hawk.
Oh.
Stephen Hawk were the two characters in a web comic that I drew over 400 episodes for.
I love your comments.
That after enough art critiques and lovely letters of I should kill myself because I have no artistic skills, I finally just shut it down.
But I can also see the same token. If you're the sole arbiter for a product and all you hear from people, especially very loudly, is extremely negative criticism, telling you how much your product sucks, I can see it can be really hard to tune that out and hear good stuff.
Right.
I mean, I can totally understand if they, if you get this internet celebrity who comes after you and all their sheep will follow them, and it now becomes like a 99-1 ratio of bad to good. I can understand where even thick skin, that can be really hard sometimes to deal with.
Yeah. Ironically, this is that is basically the storyline of the new TV show on Sci-Fi called Oh shit! What the fuck was it called?
It really left an impression.
No. It's about social media and once you put something out there, you could get attacked.
And it's won like all these awards and stuff.
Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I actually do now.
Consult the great oracle of Google.
No, I'm going to go to sci-fi
To the sci-fi.
because I can tell you what it is immediately.
I never watched it, but I can picture it in my head.
It's called.
Lost Shaman. Who are you? I have a feeling I know you.
You probably do.
Probably so. It's probably so.
The internet ruined my life.
Terrible thing, man.
The thing is, at the end of the day, you, if you do take it personal and you lash out, of course you're feeding the trolls, which will then cause them to multiply because they're actually gremlins and it's after midnight.
All the time.
All the time. But seriously, you've got to have a thick skin when it comes to stuff.
It's just the reality.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely.
But, man.
Not to say that that maybe if people are coming after you and you've got a product that you maybe if they're being constructively, if they're giving you constructive criticism, you might want to take something into effect, not to close your doors, but maybe try to refine something. But if they're attacking your actual character, it might be tough.
Well, okay, here's a question. Maybe
Yes,
this
sir.
is more for Ando. So I'm sure you get a lot of feedback, and for Craig too. How do you filter? So you hear a lot of probably not good things. How do you filter between the constructive criticism like Charlie versus people who are just being asshats? How do you kind of know which one do you take to heart and like, okay, this is something I need to improve on, versus this person's just being a dick?
Usually, it has a lot to do with their attitude in so doing, because Charlie's using Charlie's review as an example. I mean, I could tell that he was just trying to say, look, we were trying to bring content, and not a lot of people were hanging out. So and it was a legitimate concern that even I noticed myself over the weekend. So it's one of those things that it has a lot to do with the attitude in which it's approached. If it feels like someone is just being honest but isn't being unnecessarily harsh, then it's probably just constructive criticism. But there's lines that can be crossed, but if it feels like it really is like coming at you or saying that you somehow personally failed for doing something, or you're bad for having let something happen or something like that, I don't know, it feels like that's kind of that line that gets crossed, at least for me.
Right, but the thing is, unfortunately, is that there are some times where you get suckered into reading something, what you think is going to be constructive criticism, but it downward spirals to a character attack. Because of course, when you, it's not, you're never going to be able to just get constructive criticism or things that will actually help you. There's always going to be those individuals who want to make a stink. My number one thing that drives me up the effing wall is individuals who do an activity, be it a game, a convention, watch a TV show, watch a movie, only so they could bitch about how bad it is and how it's not like this other thing that's really cool. To those individuals, just do that cool thing. You don't have, if you don't like it, just go back over there.
Well, and I've had like without getting into these, because obviously I'm not trying to call any particular people. I don't want to make anybody single them out, but basically had an incident actually happen. It was probably at this point over a year ago, where somebody was attending some of our regular AndoCon game nights and had a couple of bad experiences and had contacted me personally, privately about them. And the one good thing is this never was like a public thing, but it had contacted me privately, expressing some dissatisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
I had apologized and said I'd try to get there'd been some like communication breakdowns. Like I'll make sure that the right people get involved, and it just didn't feel like this person was pleasable. They didn't seem to like, even though I had apologized, they even said an apology isn't good enough, and and eventually just said, well, I'm never coming back, shame on you. And I said, and it was very difficult in that moment. You're right, because it felt like, well, this person's really that feels like something that's coming against me.
Right.
And what helped me kind of get through was recognizing, well, that was one person, and the interactions I'd had with that person in person had kind of shown me that this person kind of seems to enjoy being for lack of a better term, a bit of a sad sack, and always kind of like you said, looking for something to be
Right.
upset about.
Right.
And so, like, there really isn't reasoning with some people, and once you recognize that you're dealing with someone who's really only out to make you feel bad, you just have to. It's not easy, and especially hasn't been easy for me because of just the way that I am. But you have to remember, they aren't the ones who define you.
Exactly.
And then I could turn and look at all of the other people who have a lot of fun and all of the pre-registrations for AndoCon and all the people who do come back week after week to our weekly game nights, a month after a month to our monthly game days. And it's like, I obviously have not failed. I obviously don't need to be ashamed of what I'm doing here because this is actually succeeding. So that person had their opinion, and I have just basically not spoken to them again.
But I mean, but to your point, what usually happens is if individuals enjoy, your game days or the convention or whatnot, they might make like a passing comment, "Oh man, that was awesome. I'll see you next year," and that's it. But it's those individuals, those negative Nancys, that they're unfortunately the negative stuff usually rises to the top really fucking quick. And that's where you have to be able to step back, no matter how much, because they're like, "Oh, I'm never coming back," or "You guys didn't do this wrong," or "I felt betrayed by something." I mean, yes, you as an individual, as an owner of a product, absolutely, you will probably research into it. But if this person is constantly doing something, or they're trying to make an isolated situation into like this widespread type of epidemic, then you kind of just need to let them go. As hard as that is, because let me tell you, there are certain situations in my life where it took a shit ton of stuff to actually stop me from trying to keep all my friends, even if and I guess casual friends, when I apparently have done something that I don't understand that I've done wrong, and that type of downward spiral.
Well, in terms of pleasing people, I think it also, how do you want to spend your energy?
Absolutely.
You can spend 90% of your time pleasing 10 people, or spend 90% of your time, and those 10 are the jackasses, or spend that 90% of the time pleasing the 90 people who actually like your product. So it's kind of, do you put your resources to people actually enjoying it, or do you put a disproportionate amount of time towards people who can never be pleased?
And that's really a good point, because what it means for me, for example, then to that point is focus more on, well, how can I make sure that the content that I bring to AndoCon is enough that will please a lot of people.
Right.
Maybe I'm not going to please I'm definitely not going to please everybody. It happens.
There's nothing in the world that
I mean,
could
like
please everyone.
last year, we had our first and granted so far only person who ever asked for a refund on his badge. He walked up, got a badge, stayed for like 15 minutes, came back to the registration desk, said, nothing really caught my interest. Can I just get a refund? I'm like, okay, we didn't make a big deal. Just gave him his money back. He went away, and that's all. I mean, you can't please everybody, but as long as there were all those other 200 people who were having fun over there over the weekend, well, that seems like a pretty good ratio, right? 200 against the one.
And the time you would spend pleasing that one person could have spent making those other 200 even happier.
Exactly. So it's the kind of thing, it's easy to say and difficult to do, but every year that goes by, it gets easier and easier to focus more on, well, if one person's unhappy, that's still one person that I don't have to worry about, but all these other people who are still on my side, I'll just try to make them happy. And it is so much easier said than done, but, it happens, though.
Absolutely. Okay. I have to bring this up because it's making my skin boil.
Oh boy.
Oh no! I'm stepping away.
For anyone out there who's the creator of their own product.
And by the way, Mountain Dew does not actually pay us yet, so I'm just saying, as we're talking about pay for reviews.
No, well, it'd be like me paying Mountain Dew to do something.
Well, you kind of do. You're buying all their drinks to advertise it on our show.
Okay. So here's the deal, okay?
Yeah, he can't please me.
Yeah, okay. All right, so there's a website out there. It's called Pocket Gamer. And if you're an independent developer and you are just begging for coverage, what they can offer you is this wonderful once-in-a-lifetime deal where if you pay $7,500, you get 4 news articles about your game, professionally written.
$75,000. 7,000.
7,500.
Sorry, 7,500. Still, that's still
It's still a lot of money.
jeez.
It'll also include one sponsored feature. And let's see. Let's go up to the silver partner level of $15,000 a year. Oh, sorry, it's for a year.
Still
Per
a
year.
lot of money.
Okay. So if you do $15,000 a
That's still
year,
a down payment on a house,
Yep.
man. Jeez.
10 news articles and 2
I
sponsored
could buy a lot of
features.
cats.
If you are savvy and you need the gold partnership, that's $30,000 a year for 25 news articles and 5 sponsored features. And for the high rollers, which, independent developers are made of money,
Ooh.
$50,000 a year will get you 40 news articles and 5 sponsored
I sense a
features.
lot of I sense a lot of scorn in your voice. You're not very transparent here.
Okay. I'm going to let everyone just look at this chart for like 2 more seconds, and then I'm switching back because I want full screen.
So you can see Charlie's rage go through his ears.
Okay, that's enough. Okay. This is the fucking reason why people think that journalist reviews are fake. Okay? Because
Does
This
that
is-
contract guarantee positive reviews though?
yes, absolutely.
I'm
Why
sorry.
would it? Because then you would.
Does it actually say anything about are they positive? I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious.
Let's see here. Blah 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 blah. I believe it doesn't say it in the chart, but from my understanding, this is. I know advertising is not cheap, but if you, as an independent developer, are required to pay to even get onto this website, then you've gone to the wrong website.
Okay, let's say that. Okay, so let's just take $15,000 for Pocket Gamer.
Yep.
Let's say I'm just throwing a hypotheticals. If $15,000 of advertising, what we're calling for this website, can get you to say $50,000 in revenue for your game. Isn't that worthwhile?
That's not. But
Then you're making $35,000 net profit. That's obviously what you're banking on by doing this is that you're going to increase your net profit. That's what you're going for. So if I'm here and I'm trying to make my game and trying to make my living off my one little independently developed game, and I can guarantee that I'm going to make more than I put into this, isn't that worth it to me?
you can't guarantee that.
You're right, you can't guarantee it, but maybe it's a gamble I have to take. If this is my livelihood, maybe that's the gamble I have to take.
With that $15,000, you could do a much better job of getting yourself coverage on multiple outlets instead of just one called Pocket Gamer, which I've never been to until I heard about it today.
I've been to Pocket Gamer.
Okay, fine.
I mean, it's for mobile game, like iOS and Android games. It's not bad.
You know where I go for iOS and Android game reviews? Oh, that's right.
Also Confusion.
That's
so you
right.
can read your own reviews.
Yeah, damn straight. Because I can't remember what I wrote a week ago. Literally. But anyways,
I'm just saying, if I were independent developer for a game, I could see myself being enticed by this situation if I think it's going to help me break into the business.
Lost Shaman, you're right. It is articles covering your product, and they don't have to be reviews. But even articles covering the product can paint a false picture of said product.
I'm not going to disagree with that part. I mean, with the ethics part of it, I agree with. I'm just saying, from the perspective of a developer, I can see why they'd be very enticed by this. If they think it'll make them a profit on the game.
If you have $15,000 to burn, just do like AdSense or something. Or Google ads or Facebook ads. Fuck, I don't know. You reach out to a PR firm and say, here's $15,000. What can you do with that? I bet you that that a PR firm can do a better job than this website.
Very
Pay for
possible.
coverage is often a scam. Do your research. Absolutely. I agree, which is what pisses me off because there are definitely individuals who will hit a site like Pocket Gamer and think that this is the norm because this might be their first website, or that's the only website they go to because they don't believe in IGN, which has been known to put up false reviews. Or
No.
GameStop, or sorry, not GameStop, GameSpot, which has been known to be influenced by that month's sponsor. Case in point, Kane and Lynch. And that's why the reviewer got fired. Sorry. Was asked if it would be okay if he decided to quit. Anywho, he then went on to form another place that became very popular. And ironically enough, his company, which is now humongous, got bought by CBS Interactive, which,
Wasn't it a giant bomb?
owns GameSpot. Yes, I wasn't going to name the site, though, because we're currently banned from Giant Bomb again.
I'm not. I don't care.
Ultra Confusion is banned.
Yeah, well, I'm an independent contractor.
I can barely get you to write on my website. You're not writing on Giant Bomb? Absolutely. Advertising is all a giant shell game with lots of money in the mix. Absolutely. But the thing you have to understand is that, okay, first of all, you don't, I don't want individuals out there to think that they have to pay to that much money to get coverage on their product. But they're going to have to do something. Either they're going to be paying in time, or time and money, or just money, to get their product out there.
Well, there's a better way of doing it than this, is what you're saying, as far as spending money.
Yes.
Which I don't disagree with that part.
But you also can't do the opposite. You can't just be like, here's my product, and then walk away.
But the product,
Booyah.
doesn't the product speak for itself, man? All your friends are going to talk about it and spread that word.
That is the stupidest thing. The product will speak for itself. It's the stupidest thing.
It worked for the Ouya. Come on, man.
Yeah, where is the Ouya now?
It's sitting on a dusty shelf.
Yeah, you're right. It's right there. It's on my shelf.
Oh yeah.
And it got bought out by Razer. And of course, Ouya had that initiative called Free the Game campaign, which if you raised enough money, I think it was on Kickstarter, that they would front you whatever you got on Kickstarter, they would front you an equal amount to help you create a game for the Ouya. Fun fact, they didn't pay the developers for the last like 8 months of the free game campaign. And here's even for all those legal individuals out there who love all the contracts and shit. When Razer bought Ouya, there was a liability clause that said that Razer does not own any of the liabilities that Ouya has in place. So no debts, no promises that were in place that Ouya had made before said purchase. Which means that those developers who are banking on getting that extra $20,000 or $10,000 or whatever,
they can pay for the advertising
were
campaign.
completely out in the cold because now they're that much more in the hole.
That sucks for them. It's a chance you take.
Yes, it is.
And like you said, it's a shell game. You know, sometimes you do advertising and it doesn't work out.
Absolutely. Ultra Confusion is a case in point that sometimes trying to advertise your website doesn't
But you
actually.
also haven't spent $15,000 in advertising, I hope.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Nope, I spent a couple hundred though.
It doesn't take long to spend that advertising.
No, it's
Nope.
not. No. Mm-mm.
That goes quick.
Facebook ads or
Mhm.
Google ads. That shit just.
And what did I get out of this? I don't really know.
What about game trailers? Didn't that? Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that game
You're
trailer-
wrong.
Okay, cool.
That's me. Come on.
Sorry.
I believe at some point game trailers was actually like, I hate to use this word, but legit. And now it got bought out by I think GameSpot, which anything that GameSpot touches or the parent company touches is tainted.
Well, that's a shame.
So yeah. I think one of the main guys at Game Trailer got booted because he was like trying to buck the corporate trend.
Trying to do honest reviews.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Isn't that odd?
I know.
When you actually want to give your opinion on something so people are actually educated about it correctly, and you are asked to leave.
But it's all about the advertising money.
Yeah, the sponsorship
I mean,
money.
yeah.
The sponsorship money is more important to a company in many cases than it is to the actual individual within the company, which is sad.
Yeah, well, solvency means something.
Yes.
So, what else we got?
It's time for topics from the audience.
And we do have an audience tonight.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we got people talk to us,
People-
ask questions.
By the way, I decided that Lost
Okay.
Shaman is Neil Gaiman. He gave himself away.
No.
no.
He did it by accident. He didn't mean to.
Actually, it got bought by Defy Media, which also owns Smosh and etc. And Defy Media shut them down last month.
Oh,
There you
well,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Hello, Hiconics. 012, whatever.
Gamer 12.
You can call him O12 for short.
Yeah, 012 for short.
We learned that 2 weeks ago. Camel, like the cigarettes?
I did have a question for
Yeah,
you.
he says I have came. That's
Oh.
an exclamation point.
Thank you. I
You're
didn't see-
welcome.
I saw it now.
You're even wearing your glasses.
And the closest to the monitor.
That is embarrassing. Zealeus.
It's a story of my life.
Now, of course,
I'm the author.
while we're waiting for topics,
That's
from
kind
the,
of creepy.
It is. It's very creepy.
while we're waiting for topics from the audience, Ando, why don't you give us a rundown of a couple of the big names that we can expect to see at AndoCon?
Well, this year we have James Dawsey, who I only just met him right before the beginning of AndoCon 2015, so I'm a little bit fuzzy on everything that he's been involved with. But he is one of the industry guests. He is one of the bigger names that we have. We were going to have a friend of his also in the industry named Jack Norris, but Jack, literally while driving on the way to the airport, because he lives in Chicago,
Mhm.
so going to the airport to fly down here for AndoCon, started throwing up and get sick with the flu.
Oh, it's terrible.
Damn it.
So we lost. So he, health and safety comes before AndoCon.
Absolutely.
So,
And
but
get the rest of his flu.
of course, as always, ever since pretty much our first year, we've got Kevin Lansing, the developer of Flashpoint Fire Rescue. We've got, of course, Dave Lupo, and we've got Florida Whammy bringing their game shows back. We've got No Chance Games, which is a local game development shop. And let's see, I feel like I'm forgetting one.
Do you have was that the same game shop who was there last year showing off games?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You were talking about Unpub.
They were fun.
They were. We did not hear back from them this
Okay.
year. So.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying. I feel like there's one more name in there. I'm just completely so. And of course, a handful of the local game developers that are around the Metro Atlanta area. That's one of the things I've harped on this from the very beginning of AndoCon, and I will continue to harp on it as long as I feel this way, which I kind of get the impression is going to be a permanent thing.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my guiding principles when trying to essentially gather everything that becomes AndoCon together is always about bringing together game developers who have their ideas, who have their content, who have their demos, playtests, all that, and people who are willing to play them. So to me, that's one of the things that I always say is one of our biggest value propositions, if you will, for AndoCon is this is what you can get out of it. Is you can play games that literally nobody else can play because you can't buy them on shelves.
Mhm.
You're playing prototypes and you're being taught how to play by the person who designed the game, which usually means at some point, either during or after or all of the above, they will ask you, so what do you think? What is there anything that I could do to make this better? You can actually have direct impact on the game by saying, well, I had fun except for this little mechanic. And I mean, you can shape the course of a game's development by giving your feedback. And that is a powerful feeling, and it's a very good feeling. And that is one of the things that drew me into the gaming world. So that's what I want to bring back to the gaming world. So that's why I try so very, very hard to not only bring in the industry guests who have, very, very interesting things to talk about and great games to run, but also the local people who aren't really don't really have that loud a voice in the overall community because they're not published yet. But that doesn't mean that their games are any less fun.
Mhm.
There's some great games that happen at AndoCon during, that are just, on prototype, hand drawn on paper sometimes.
I played one of those last year.
Exactly. So, don't be afraid of that. That's one of the things I try to always tell people for AndoCon is don't be afraid of trying the new games because that's one of the greatest parts of playing games is getting to feel that wow, I'm one of the first people to ever play this. I've had that happen. Actually, Dave Lupo has been nice enough to allow me. There's been, I think, 2 games that I was literally in the first group of people to see it hit the table, and that's a great feeling. I love it. So that's great. And another thing that we're bringing in for the first time, this is one of the new things for 2016.
Woo.
We have for the first
Who's
time
Buzz?
at AndoCon.
No.
We have D&D Adventurers League, officially sanctioned Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons Adventurers League games,
Which is going to be
all weekend long.
What does that mean?
That means that what Adventurers League is it is Wizards of the Coast official, like I said, sanctioned games that are considered canon. So when you create a game and you register that or you create a character and you register that character exists in D&D and Adventurers League, and you can take it to any Adventurers League game anywhere in the country, and within the level, characters there. Period.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it is a great way to get involved in D&D, and it can go span the entire gamut of levels. So it doesn't matter whether you're just starting out or whatever the case may be.
So does that require having like a registered DM or something?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes. There are actual
Sanctioned.
like sanctioned DMs that are recognized by Wizards of the Coast.
It's like a high wizard.
We also
Yes.
we've got two different sites on Warhorn. One of them is for the D&D Adventures League. We also have one for non-D&D stuff because we have the Georgia Pathfinder Society are going to be there. Going to have I don't know how official some of this is because I think some of these are just people who can run the games, but I know that we're going to have games of Shadowrun there. Of course, Craig is running several demos of Murders and Acquisitions that's on Warhorn that you can sign up for.
And potentially capers.
Yeah, potentially capers. That's one thing I'm aware of.
I heard 13th Age.
I think basically the RPG track has been taking off in the last month, and I've kind of been like, you guys just run with it because you're impressing me. So, I can't be involved in every last data, minutia of the thing. But
Okay, there was a question that
Asked a while back.
the Pizza Face asked, and that is, how do you dudes find time for games? I as married, as a married fellow,
with a kid.
and a full-time job, which leaves very little time for games.
I'll let him
Should-
take this one.
Okay, I will answer this. I is married too. I have 2 children.
The answer is in the do. I'm just saying.
I have a 9-to-5 job, and I run a independent video game news and review website where I review 98.9% of the games.
We did the
that are on.
math.
I think it's higher, but I'm trying to be generous.
I'm sorely offended now.
You're welcome. Honestly, it's passion. I've loved video games since I was like 8 or before then. I don't want to tell you how old I am, but let's just say it's been a while since my first game. And I love to play games of all types. Well, maybe not all types, because there are certain genres that I suck at, and I kind of avoid them like the
We
plague.
need some new categories.
Yes, yeah, new categories. But that being said, there's definitely a balancing act that has to take place. I can't play video games as much as I want to 24/7 because, first of all, I need to keep the 9-to-5. Second of all, I'd like to stay married to the woman that I'm married to. And third of all, I don't want to lose custody of my children.
I'm pretty sure if you weren't actually married, you would just live in your basement.
Probably.
Probably just live. You'd have like the fridge right there. You'd have like a direct fountain IV drip of Mountain Dew just continually circulating into your little drink here.
But you have to understand there would have to be the perfect mix of both Mountain Dew and Code Red. I could not do one or
You could totally make that
one or
happen.
the other. I'm just
If
saying.
you have the passion, it can be done.
I already, well, the problem was that I poured some earlier because I needed something to drink, and so
I still have some.
I still have some in my cup. But I'll do it just now. So Pepsi, I'm doing the do. Pay me or give me free stuff. I'll take like a T-shirt or a Mountain Dew themed cup. Totally okay with that.
Just don't ask us to review your video games, and if you sponsor us, there'll be a conflict of interest.
No, just expect that if you have a video game, that you're actually going to get an honest review.
No, still
It's like
conflict of interest.
Fine. He'll review your game for you.
Uh,
Anyways.
I'm not married. I have a cat, so yeah.
And the cat is very demanding. That's why he barely plays any games.
I
That's
sit
why
down.
you can't find any reviews of his.
I sit down on the computer and I touch the mouse, and her head is under my hand. Like she doesn't let me actually really use my computer. I'm not exaggerating. She's very needy.
I'd like to chime in as well. I is also married, although I does not has kids. I has cats, but not kids.
Really. Kids and
Anyway.
cats.
Yeah. Anyway, for me, I mean, I have a full-time job, and I have family, and I have AndoCon. It's tough sometimes to find time to actually game, but what I find is best is if it is important enough to you to make the time for it and you prioritize it, then you can really enjoy it. Like, let yourself take the time for it. Let yourself really, carve out the time, and don't let anything override it. I mean, obviously, priorities or something's more important. But the point is, go and do it. And that's what I found sometimes, because I run a weekly game night for AndoCon, so that means that every week at least I've got to do something. Most of the time I got to go in and run this game night. And I'll be honest, there's some weeks I just don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go and I get started playing the right games, especially with the right people and good friends, and you get some good food at the restaurant, all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'm having a great time now. I'm glad I came. So if you do something that you really, really love, sometimes you'll find energy that you didn't even realize that you had, and you can tap into that.
It's like a vampire stealing energy from their friends.
I guess so. That's how I deal with finding time. I make the time for gaming, and it isn't always easy, but it's worth it.
I wouldn't say vampires. I would just say that I have a reserve tank that I utilize when something's important enough. It's like for me, it's like I can go outside of the realm of video games. If I'm reading like a really good book, let's say that was written by a gentleman by, I don't know, the name of Louis Pasteur III. Just throwing a name out there.
Just saying.
And let's say that it's
And
just...
he's going to be at AndoCon. He's got his dealer's table.
I know.
We know who's stopping by that table.
Yeah, me too.
And I know where I can find him next Tuesday. Right here. Anyways, when you read a series like the Saga of Ukamon, which I think that if you haven't read it, you should probably read it immediately.
Have you read it too, Ando?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't have the third book yet because I'm going to buy it from Louis at the con.
There you go.
See, I told you it was somebody that I knew. By the way, to Craig's point about Nerdburger, I know that one of the previous times that I was on the show, I talked about this, but I'll reiterate it because Craig's talking about it. One of the two RPG raffles that he's talking about is for an RPG that I know Charlie's talked about before. It is called Enter the Shadowside Destinies, the second edition of the Enter the Shadowside. The designer is Marco Leon. He's the other guest. That's what I was trying to...
There you go.
He's the other guest. He has been a regular guest, featured game designer at AndoCon since our first public year. But as I said last time, or one of the previous times I was on the show, this year he'll be there in person.
Woo!
He will be personally on the show. He'll be there to raffle off the game. So if you happen to win, he'll be there and you should get him to sign it. Totally.
Which means that Charlie won't have to figure out a way to jimmy rig the mic right up to the Apple laptop speaker so that his voice can actually be heard throughout the...
He's not doing the same panel, but he is going to be doing two panels at AndoCon in person. It's like, oh, thank God.
I thought
that right now.
I thought that was Lost Shaman, but I wasn't going to say anything.
I feel like he's been on here before.
It's Louis.
I know. I recognize Lost Shaman.
I knew it was somebody that I knew.
All right, the pizza phase. Right on, guys. Great words. With all that said, have you all ever just tired of games in general? Absolutely.
Yep.
As a video game reviewer, if I don't pace myself, I have to take time off. Once upon a time, I was psychotically insane and decided to try to take on like 3 games a week. After 4 straight months of that, I was about ready to throw my computer out because I couldn't even think straight because of all the different games I was playing. I don't know. And some of them, I'm going to be honest, I give honest reviews. Some of them were complete shite, and it hurt me because I make a vow that I try to get through the game to completion unless I fall a little bit short.
Or it's an MMO.
Or it's an MMO, or it's a real-time strategy game that has no true ending.
I'm gonna be honest. So to the point of getting bored of games, that's one of the reasons I don't review as much as I could. I'm not as into video games as I was as a kid. It's just a fact of life. I just don't play them nearly as much.
And for
There's
me,
no other way of putting it.
And for me, it's not so much about video games. In my case, obviously, it's more about tabletops, so RPGs and board games and stuff. But I get it. I get it bad. The being so burned out that you just don't feel like opening up that box. Sometimes it's one specific game, like, oh, I don't even want to take this one with me because I know someone will want to play it and I really don't want to.
Cards Against Humanity. For the love of God, there are other games out there.
Cards Against IT.
I say, please stop playing that. Anyway, but then sometimes like in the case of I ran I DM'd a D&D game that the campaign lasted like on and off again. It wasn't all solid, but about 5 years. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm out.
That's long.
I'm not playing D&D again. And it's been a couple years at this point, and now I'm like, I really want to play D&D again. So I've started a new campaign. But it's like sometimes you just get burned out. So yes, absolutely.
Yep. I think part of it too, as we've talked about before, is you see games coming out and they're the same core mechanics are rehashes of games that have already come out. Like, I loved Civilization as a kid. And now you go to Civ 5 and what's Beyond Earth. Fancy new graphics, new gameplay, but it's still the 4X strategy game. And you play it for an hour, and it's like, I played this before. So that's part of it, too, is those unique novel games, they're out there, but a lot of games are just kind of rehashes of things that have already been done.
You know where the vast majority of those unique novel games are? They're independently
developed games.
Attaboy. That goes for basically any form of product, though. Be it books, movies, songs, games, board games, card games. When you don't have to report back to an to a publisher, or do like status checks, it's dangerous. But at the same time, you have a lot of creative freedom. But of course, you don't have as deep of pockets as you would with a publisher.
You don't have as extra shiny pixels.
Yeah, shiny pixels.
So, anywho,
more questions.
Does anyone have more questions for us?
Oh, I have an answer to a question that nobody's asked me yet.
Okay.
But
this is my question. Okay, where's the answer?
Well, first off, so Ando, let me ask you a question here. So last year during closing ceremonies, there was a bit of a fiasco with what us wrestling fans would call a bot spot. Is there going to be anything like that again? Should I sit 5 rows back during closing ceremonies this year? Well, it's a good thing you asked that, Charlie. Because
can you reenact the bots from last year?
No,
you can see it on YouTube. It's up there. Yeah. Anyway, no.
What a total whiff. I mean, what a total whiff. Okay, keep going.
No, that was interesting, but no, there will be no flying pies during closing ceremonies this year.
Yelling and screaming of signing of contracts.
Yeah, that we're not doing that again this year.
Oh, it's okay.
We're going to do it so much better this year.
No.
Practice.
No.
Rehearse it.
No, it was so bad, and then the explanation of trying to get towels got really weird.
So why do you need like a handful of towels?
Spilled water on the floor.
Lots of water.
I think it'll be okay. It's water. It won't stain. No, you don't understand. We have to wipe it up.
We're trying to be nice. We're good guys. Want to clean up after ourselves.
So if you're really confused, first off, the Altered Confusion YouTube channel, you can see it because it's up there. But last year at opening ceremonies, there was a kind of last minute, not as well planned out as it should have been, and not at all rehearsed comedy spot that we closed out the show with, where the game show guests, Florida Whammy Entertainment, and I and Sean Patrick Fannin and Eddie Webb on my behalf did this little comedy spot where they pretended to get all belligerent on me during a contract signing for them coming back for this year, at which Eddie Webb stood up and defended me, and then there was this whole ordeal, and they had shouting match with each other, at which point I was supposed to get a pie and throw it in one of their faces. And I missed. And instead hit a chair, one of the other guests' pants leg, and a long smear along the floor.
3 rows worth.
Yeah.
That's one way to end an argument.
Not to mention, on one of the guys from Florida Whammy who was not supposed to take the pie got pie on his suit jacket and then fell and ripped his suit jacket to boot.
Yep.
And of course everyone's just like, "Oh, there's pie flying," and they were like, "Well, I feel bad about this." Yeah, it was funny in retrospect, but at the time, oh, so embarrassing. And so we're like, let's not do that.
Craig says, that's good comedy.
Yeah.
Everything's funnier in hindsight.
Absolutely, everything is.
And when you're not the person who is taking the pie on your clean clothes.
Touche.
Yeah.
So, AndoCon starts at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Friday, which is the 11th
There's my third finger.
of
Keep
March. Opening ceremonies happen at 5 p.m. Right after that, you can see the Nerdburger Games Kickstarter for Mergers and Acquisitions. The official announcement. And of course, I don't know what happens at 7, but 8 o'clock,
Something happens.
something happens. Probably you're going to get some food, maybe something to drink.
There is a panel. There's also games going on.
There are games at all times.
Yeah.
But what's really important is that you get back by 8 o'clock so that you could be in the Madison room for Video Games Today, which, with a bit of luck, we will be live streaming for all of you wonderful people who somehow magically cannot make it to AndoCon, which is shame on you. But at least
Make Ando cry.
you'll be able to take a small peek inside the window of Ando.
They're like unicorn tears.
Now, that's not to say that we might, we may try to do like a Periscope while we're at AndoCon, or several of them. Who knows?
You want to do that at, I don't know, opening ceremonies.
Yes. It might happen, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. But seriously, there's lots to do at AndoCon. If you're not really a panel-going person, there's the Florida Whammy stuff where you could hop on game shows like Hollywood Squares or
Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck.
What's My
Classics.
Line?
What's My Line? Yep. And then, of course, and if that's not really up your alley, there are tons of board games. A lot of them you've probably never heard of, but there are a
There's other
ton of
classics.
individuals out there who are willing to learn it with you or know the game and are willing to help you learn the game.
But it also has all the classics too. Like it has all the regular games you'd expect to see too.
Sorry? Monopoly?
I was thinking more
Candyland?
like. Okay, now you're sounding like me.
I mean, to be fair, I am technically bringing a copy of Clue, but I mean, that's like an actual good game. Ooh, shots fired!
We're talking more like Settlers of Catan.
Carcassonne.
Sorry, I don't like Euro games. I'm sorry. I know I run a gaming convention, but I don't like Euro games. Just can't take it.
What about Resistance? Or
I love Coup.
what was it? Coup.
I don't like Coup, but I do like Resistance.
I'm the opposite.
Hidden Identity, Hidden Trader games like that, I do enjoy those. I got the
Werewolf.
deluxe edition of One Night Ultimate Werewolf and Vampire, so I have like every role for both.
See, I hate One Night at Werewolf. I have to play the full version of Werewolf. I can't stand One Night Werewolf. I need the full-blown version.
Dead to me.
One Night Werewolf is just...
You're dead
not
to
fun
me!
I'm fine with that. You're the werewolf! Get yourself away!
Room 25. That's another really good one.
I've never done that one.
Anyways, there's going to be tons of games that you can try out. And, of course, you're going to have...
I want to play that one too, Louis. I do want to play that one. I don't personally have the print and play, but I think I remember somebody on Facebook on the event, like not anybody I know, but somebody on the Facebook event talked about it and said they might like print out a copy. I don't know. I can't make any promises, but I really, really, yeah.
Ladies and Master, as much as I would love to go into WoW Legion Alpha, unfortunately, we're up right against the end of our show.
The bewitching minutes is upon us.
So,
Oh, it was you. Okay, well, that explains why I know it.
anyways, I do want to do a quick couple shout-outs. If you're looking for some nerdy and geeky podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to check out both the Nerdburger podcast, which of course you can access by going through iTunes or nerdburgernews.com.
Nerdburger Show.
Sorry,
Nerdburgershow.com.
My bad.
Or just Google Nerdburger.
Or, and in addition to, if you're looking for even more geeky stuff, always check out the podcast by a group called Vitamin Geek. They are based out of Tennessee and are awesome gentlemen, fellows, who like to talk about everything nerdy, especially horror.
With manly beards.
Yes, they all have manly, well, not all of them.
Well,
have
one
manly
has a very.
See, now I must be on this podcast where it is about nerdy gaming,
Yes.
and it
It
has
has
beards.
Yes!
If you guys see this,
Grizzly
talk
beards.
to me.
Yeah. Actually, they record their podcast at the same time.
Yeah, that's why they're never here.
Well,
Unless-
if they watch the YouTube after.
Well, they know.
Okay, well, talk to me.
All right.
I'm
Anyways,
your people.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to. Oh, of course, check out Nerdburger Games. Merge and Acquisitions about to start on Kickstarter in the very, very near future. And of course, Craig Campbell, the master and creator behind that game, is also working on another game called Capers, which you definitely want to know more about, but he won't reveal unless you play at least one play session of Merge and Acquisitions while you're at AndoCon. So if you're not going to AndoCon, you're SOL, my friend, until later in life.
Sucks to be you.
Indeed.
It's time to point and laugh.
And of course, there are many others that. If you're looking for an interesting news channel that gives you the latest and greatest in local anime conventions, always check out Whack Kid 47 Network. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the end of our Thursday night hangout. So, unfortunately or fortunately, all you have to do is go to sleep, and then soon you shall be here. If you cannot physically be here, we will try to give you little glimpses over the beautiful magic data waves of the internet.
Your voice is getting really weird.
Shut up! And
It's not getting any better.
shut up! And furthermore, Zealeus will be dead.
I don't stop that voice. I don't know what
sad.
I know it's so sad.
Holy child!
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Tune in to everything that we can give you from AndoCon. Seriously, if you can be there, be there.
Be there.
But until next time, which will be next Thursday,
And tomorrow night.
and tomorrow night, absolutely, and potentially Saturday at noon. Thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout for myself, Charlie, Zealeus, and the one and only Ando. It was a pleasure to give you all the information that we conveyed into your brains today. And we hope that you, once again, come back tomorrow because we're going to do more. But until then, thank you for tuning in.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.
We're Ando, so can you. Peace.